Hi, I'm Diane Hillyer, the Connecticut Science Center 2022 STEM Achievement Award winner. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a teacher. I love helping people, and watching people learn and grow is very exciting and rewarding. I love mathematics because it's so interesting, it's intriguing, it's this beautiful, rigorous subject, and all of the pieces are connected. The analogy I give when I'm teaching mathematics, you're working on your math muscle, and it's really beautiful to see it develop. And it's also just really nice to tackle things that are difficult, right? To challenge yourself. So I just find it very rewarding to do something that's really hard. Community colleges are extremely important because we are dream makers. Real people come to us, they have all of these hopes and visions and plans for their lives, and then they need help implementing those. We'll have students in their 30s, 40s, 50s where possibly they've been laid off from their job, or possibly they've recently gone through a divorce, or possibly they're 45 years old and they want to have a complete career change. People, they redefine themselves, they reimagine themselves, and they create this whole new life for themselves. Then we really get to participate in this amazing transformation. What you want to do is make the mathematics come alive. So I bring a lot of silly props to class. What it does is, first of all, it makes the math come alive, but then it makes students feel comfortable. If I'm up there, dancing and singing and being silly, they feel comfortable. I'm like, So for example, if I'm teaching about angles as rotations, I'll be wearing my propeller hat, and then I'll be like, why is this lady wearing a propeller hat? And then I'll proceed with the lesson. If I'm teaching about vertical lines and undefined slope, I'll walk into class wearing my jester hat. I won't say anything, I'll just start the lesson, and they're kind of looking at me like, what's up with her? I'll bring in my ridiculous calculator, my really large, gigantic calculator. If I'm teaching average rate of change, I love cars. I have a lot of cars. My favorite car is the Volkswagen Beetle, and we'll do races. Teaching during the pandemic, in March 2020, all of us were thrown into an emergency situation. I literally had 10 days to figure out, oh my goodness, how am I gonna deliver the curriculum? How am I gonna teach this stuff, right? I had never used any of the technology. I knew nothing, and I had 10 days to kind of figure it out, get up to speed, and deliver the information to my students that would be meaningful, where they would continue to learn, as we were all, at home. When I decided how am I going to approach this, how am I going to, finish my classes, we're halfway through the semester, my guiding principle was 10 years down the road, when my students look back, I want them to say, she did a really good job. And I had to develop the math live. They need to see math as a process, and they needed to see the process worked out. As an educator, when you're in your classroom, leadership comes from the top. So you start that, in the classroom. You are in charge of your classroom. So when all of, your students are home and they're sitting in their bedrooms and they're in their pajamas and, they're Zooming and they're on Microsoft Teams and they're all nervous, you can be that comforting, guiding force in their life. And I wanted it to be a meaningful experience. I'm not like, oh, okay, we're done, let's just, call it a day, that the learning would continue. If anything positive has come out of the pandemic is, as humans, we are all changed. It has changed all of us. But as an educator, I'm going to take those pieces that I learned and use them for positive good. So I do believe, all of those difficult things that you have to go through in life, I'm a big believer in you make them work for you, not against you. Science centers and museums and children's museums are vitally important because kids or young students can come here, they can touch, they can feel, they can live the experience. So it's not, when we read a book, our imagination, creates whatever's happening. But when you're at the Connecticut Science Center or any, children's museum, you can participate. So just like in class where I do these silly things, if you are a parent of young children, all of those sensory experiences, all of the things that you model for them, but they get to, feel and live and do, that stays with them. When children are young, you have the ability to just set this wonderful, positive example for them. So if you're a young learner, I would just say that you can do it and believe in yourself. Expect to experience challenges, expect to work really hard, but always know that you can do it and always believe in yourself. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do something, because you can do it and you can do it well. And if you watch children and if you teach young students, watch what they do, because they will reveal to you what their interests are, and where their interests are, that's what you want to support and encourage, because that's where they're going to blossom. Our future depends on innovation. You know, we always need to be growing and changing. You know, you don't want, so innovation, so accept change and be willing to embrace change.